Welcome to the Road to Redemption podcast with your host, Cam Williamson. Each week, Cam sets out to shatter the labels and stigmas associated with mental health awareness by giving life lessons and raw overviews of events happening around the world.
All right, what is up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I'm, as always, your grateful host, Cam Williamson. Let's get right into the damn thing. Today, we're talking about projection. I feel like every conversation I've had with every person has been me ranting and raving about all the very clear projection and projecting I'm seeing. I've went back and forth inside my own head. Am I going to make a video about Roe v. Wade and all this? No. Why? I said if I'm going to make a video of it, I need to sit down, read the entire document so I understand it, write notes, boom. Then I look, why do I even want to do this at all? It's because over the last couple days, every time I open my phone, it's angry reaction to everything. And it's not even like when, elections go on or when shootings happen. You guys can look across all my platforms. I follow like 10 or 11 people on everything I have. Just comedy stuff or like dad stuff usually. And then like some small creators that I just dig. But I don't follow anything controversial, nothing. So I know things are getting really bad when it's just getting pumped to me all the time. And I'm trying to avoid it. So I was like, all right, let me put my phone down. I'm going to go and just live life, right? Like every morning I take my nature walk. I usually hit the store and then I come into the office and do what I do. So I'm like, all right, let me go to the store after my walk. Keep my phone off, just fucking walk in there. As soon as I, get out of my car, start to walk into the store, I hear this lady talking on the phone. She's like talking before she's going to go into the store. You could tell she's trying to finish up her conversation. And I hear it going, well, my thoughts on abortion are da-da-da-da. And I'm like, fuck, man. You literally can't get away from the shit. Then, I go in, get my stuff. A couple people are chirping about just how tense everything is. And I'm like, yeah, bet. I'm with you. Get back in my car and I'm driving down the street. And then now all of a sudden I'm seeing billboards for pro-life, billboards for pro-choice, and all this stuff. And again, I'm not saying that there's not a right and a place to voice your opinions, speak your mind. I'm not saying that. You definitely have that, and I think your opinions should be heard because with that situation specifically, I can wrap up my stance very easily. We all have individual life experiences. You cannot damn someone or you cannot cast a judgment across all people when we don't all have the same life experiences. If it was guaranteed that every time someone had intercourse, it was consensual and it was going to lead to everyone being perfectly healthy all the way throughout, and there was no complications at any time and no complexity that any time someone had sex, like, yo, you don't live in real life, right? So let's just knock that shit out of the way. So I'm back driving in my car, seeing the billboards, but then I'm looking at people's cars. This sticker is that of, this is big, especially around here, and I have some stuff for myself to show how we all are constantly projecting. A couple months back, I was going to find a shirt, right? And I like to wear my own brand and stuff. It's smart as a business owner. So usually I try to find my own stuff. If it's dirty, because I only have so much, I'm like, all right, I got to wear something else. And I start looking through my drawer. And shirts like this pop up, which I just wore recently on the show. That big thing around here. See it a lot on decals and stuff. I have them, tattooed on my arm. Jack Skellington. And then on my other shirt, Wu-Tang. So I'm going to try to find something to wear, and I'm just going to take a walk. And in the back of my head, I notice this voice keeps coming up. Like, who am I presenting myself as in this situation? What fits the situation I'm about to go in? And I was like, that's a weird fucking question to ask. Like, what does my shirt have anything to do with who I am going into a situation? So I can make a big projection that I like, older hip hop. Same thing with the, Ice Cube shirt. I could make this big projection like everyone does on their bumper stickers with, and I've been seeing this a lot recently. Be the lion, not the sheep. AR-15s with come and take it. The, don't tread on me is real big around here. I live in a military town. So do you have the right to be a Second Amendment advocate? Sure. Absolutely you do. But what is that saying by you feeling the need to put a sticker on your car to let every person behind you know, I have an AR, come and take it if you want to try, motherfucker. Like, it's a big projection. I'm a big, tough guy who likes guns. And I'm like, and I literally went on this 20-minute rant in my car yesterday when I saw this sticker that was like, be the lion, not the sheep. And I'm like, yeah, guy, because I bet you're the one. I bet, guarantee, you're the fucking one. The guy who feels the need to slap it on the back of his sticker to broadcast to everyone that you're this fucking great lion. And trust me, I get it all the time in the comment section. Stop acting beta, bro. You need to be more alpha. Hey, guys, go fuck yourself, right? Go fuck yourself. Because here's this thing. There's this idea floating around that there's this alpha male and that's what it looks like. A very specific way. Gun toting, fucking beer drinking, and I've bitched and ranted about this forever. That there's this big projection of what a man is. Well, I go work hard every day, and this fucks over so many people. I see it all over the place with people I went to high school with, all over social media, that you were raised to believe by your blue-collar family or whatever, that you, out of high school, would get a job where you would work hard, you would find a girl or a man, you would make this family, you would grow a family, buy a house, stabilize, and you would work hard. And, you'd go on a vacation every year. And it's this big idea. Well, then coronavirus happened and everything got shaken up. And all these blue-collar type jobs started to crumble. And none of the promises of politicians were fulfilled. And all this shit starts to happen. So people start to look for assistance and they start to look for help, and they go, damn, I kind of understand where people are coming from when the struggle hits. Struggle brings us all together. And what is projections? What are projections, I should say? What is projecting? It's a hiding of your insecurity. And don't come at me. I deserve it because I make fun of Jeep people a lot. But like every time I see a Jeep person, it can't just be a Jeep. It's got to be a Jeep with a Jeep sticker and a Jeep thing on the back of the tire, and then they're walking around in a shirt that says Jeep bitch or Jeep guy, and then they got the Yeti sticker on the back, and it's this big fucking thing where it's like, hey, what is this? What is this big need for everyone to know that you're a outdoorsman who likes Yeti stuff? And like, god damn it. So to get to some of my point, after, as you can tell, some of these shirts are like old and I don't wear them anymore because, again, I've started to be more conscious of stuff like this. I went through and I found where I just have plain ass black shirts. If it's not my brand, which again, I try not to be a big walking projection. I like my designs to be more complex where people have to conversate and explain, what is that? Oh, it kind of looks like Alice, but not really legally. Fuck you, Disney. And, violently caffeinated. It's this thing this guy comes up with. He talks about mental health, and then again, it's a whole thing. But a straight black shirt doesn't say anything. Now, again, the color black could be a projection if you want to go deep into psychology and stuff like that, which we can. But my point is, you look at everything that everybody's doing. Summertime's big. Family vacations. Here's a picture of me and my family at a beach house in whatever, Myrtle Beach. Here we are. Smile, everyone. All the while, the youngest kid is talking, writing letters to himself about bringing guns to school and shit. You got the oldest kid is traumatized from hearing everyone fucking fight all the time in the house. mom drinks too goddamn much and dad doesn't talk to anyone and is just fucking there and is not helping anything. But again, they've saved, and the grind of this work-life imbalance of ignoring everyone and having this unhealthy relationship, that's what it took to get to that vacation. All the sacrifice and the struggle that no one asked for and that no one was expecting when, but we've been posting for months about how excited we are to, 4 weeks till the beach, 3 weeks to the beach. Here it comes, beach day tomorrow, last day of work. And it's all this shit. Look at us, we're going to the beach. Fuck you in the beach. Hey, stick your head in the water, go fuck yourself. Why does everyone need to know that you're going to the beach? Or why does everyone need to know? This is what kills me the most recently. When people pass away, I have empathy for having feelings and emotions towards people that pass away. But they don't have Facebook. So posting to someone who has passed, telling them you love them, is doing what? Projecting to everyone else that I'm sad about the passing of this person. That's fine. Do you need to do that on social media? No. Why? Most people don't truly give a fuck. And that's just 1,000% with you guys. Most people don't fucking care. They're going to go, God damn, that's depressing, and skip it. Unless they're in your immediate family. They don't fucking care. So it's all this. I look now and I'm like, why would you post something like that? And then to me, it's like, well, you don't feel heard in your life. Someone around you or the people around you, you don't feel comfortable that you can go, hey, man, I feel fucking depressed as shit. I'm sad today. I lost this person and it's just really bothering me. Today's the anniversary of this or that. And we don't talk about that shit. We post a picture that, again, they're not going to see on a social media site with a crazy filter and, there, I did it. I posted it. Instead of really just sitting maybe for a moment with the feeling of, God damn, I miss that person. I'm really sad about that situation, and I don't need to post about it. Maybe the most genuine thing I could do for that person is listen to a song that we connected over, or, sit outside and maybe have a moment where I feel connected to something that's very real, and that's not just this projecting that I'm sad, or again with the Jack Skellington and the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, that I'm this weird kind of alternative guy, and again, that's why I stopped kind of repping all that stuff like that. A little bit of me was like, yo, it's time to grow up. My kids love it now, which is great, and they love it because of me, and that is a part of who I am. He's my favorite guy, and I still will always have him tattooed on my arm. Can't change that, wouldn't. But it's one of those things where I don't feel the need for everyone to know that I'm an alternative punk guy. That's kind of why I've stopped getting tattoos. I don't feel the need to be this tattooed covered guy that's giving off this impression that I'm something. It's my tattoos don't represent who I am. They're pictures on my skin. But having tattoos should not be a part of your personality. It should be pieces of art for you to look at, remember pieces of your life, and have it for that. If you're getting tattoos so that way you look a certain way walking around the grocery store or when you're at the beach, well, it's really hard to base anything permanent in life because you're constantly waiting for these reactional situations to happen. Oh, hey, I like your tattoos. Thanks. And now your self-worth is gratified because you're somebody with tattoos. And it's and this all started for me when I got out of the military. It's big in the military where when I'm a veteran who's deployed, I'm supposed to be this tattooed, drinking, bearded, gun slinging, gun supporting, AR loving shit. And it's yo, I'm not all that. I'm very different than a lot of that. Now, again, I agree with some of it and I still partake in a lot of it. But it's I'm not telling everyone that this is the only way you can be a good American is to believe this way. That's where we've gotten wrong in this country is, and I posted a TikTok about it, where it's there used to be a sacred rule in life, in public, when you were in society. There was things you didn't talk about, religion and politics, right? Why? Because it could cause a big tussle around people if you don't know who you're talking to. The rule of being a good public speaker, which is you're voicing an opinion to a group of people, read the room, know your audience. So if you're going into a situation where you know other people don't think the way you think and you're deciding I'm going to convert them by just giving my opinion, well, if you're giving that and it's not consensual where they're willing to hear that at that point, one, you're fighting a losing battle already, which is never smart. Two, remember, people can only understand things to the willingness that they are able to comprehend it or are willing to open their brain to let an idea in. Especially with religion, people are very stuck. I believe in God. God is this is what he does, and if I do these things, I'm good to heaven, right? And that's very deep because the fear of death is very deep and the fear of not knowing what happens in our afterlife, very deep. So again, we cling to that as our foundational belief. So when everything goes wrong in our life, we give it to God and we don't worry about it anymore, right? So then it becomes this whole thing of what happens when people die and our foundation is shifted and you can't lean on these projections anymore. You can't lean on alcohol to fix a problem it's not fixing anymore. You can't lean on meds. You can't lean on a car, you can't lean on a house, you can't lean on a family picture. Life is now fucking crumbling around you. Jeep is not giving you a cool sweatshirt that makes you feel better temporarily, that's hitting a dopamine spike and goes, look, I'm a Jeep person and now I'm fancy. No. Life has happened, you're fucked now, and no one cares that the projection you've given off is this happy-go-lucky family person who's got their shit together. Because guess what, guys? The suicide rate right now is fucking nuts. The number of people being hospitalized for mental health struggles is fucking crazy. Why? Because no one can afford to keep up these fucking projections anymore. Everyone is unhappy. I'm not saying everyone is depressed. That's obviously bold. And I'm not here to diagnose anyone. But we have more people on medications, stacking medications, mixing that with alcohol, mixing it with drugs. There's a huge movement right now, not one that I'm voicing an opinion pro or against, but there's a big hallucinogenic movement right now to microdose shrooms and, some ketamine treatments and stuff like that. Again, there's so much going on. Trying to heal people from childhood traumas and work through traumas and fix mental health issues. And it is so in the forefront right now. But I feel like while we keep saying mental health all over the place, everywhere you look, when it comes time to have hard conversations with people in our lives, we still don't do it. We still, you know what? I think it's crazy. I'm going to talk to the men for a second. Men, let me tell you something about your projections. First off, I've been a projecting man before, where who I was as a person, I, without ever saying anything, expected whoever I was with to kind of fall into that image to a sort, because I had always been with people just like me. So if I liked rap music, I expected you didn't. And if you didn't, I didn't want to hear your music, whatever, because I assumed you had all these deep, meaningful connections to these songs like I did. And I was like, I don't want to, whatever. I don't want to grow. I don't want to expand. And that's a projection of insecurity, because I don't want to hear about your past. I don't want to hear about that song that makes you feel that way, because I don't want to talk about mine, right? And it's these big fucking things all the time. And then you go through life, and again, everything starts to fall away, and nothing is really there for you other than the people that are there for you. But men, we try to escape to golf courses, fishing trips, podcast studios, whatever our thing is, concerts, bars, whatever. And we try to escape the projection for a little bit. Now, again, when we go different places, depending on who we're around, we we may have to put on a different type of projection. I've become someone who is addicted to never having to explain myself or who I am in a situation that I'm in. That I only spend time around people who know me, that know I'm kind of silly, that know that I can be quiet sometimes. And that doesn't necessarily mean I'm having a good or bad day. That's all just a part of who I am. And you'll see every bit of that. And I don't try to, give people crazy reactions anymore on stuff. Especially because when life happens, when bad shit happens, you have to be the one, guys, I'm talking to you, and if you have a traditional family where you have a wife and kids. And again, I'm speaking some as a projection because of some shit that's been going on in my life. But it's like putting all these things on your family, that they should be gun supporting patriots, even though they don't have a passion for military service or politics or anything like that. And especially when you start to get to the place where kids grow up and they start to idolize you for your ideas and your beliefs on guns and violence and aggression. Like, I recently had to stop watching UFC fights on the weekends because my kid, my 3-year-old, started like getting hella aggressive. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I can't figure out what's going on. And then every Saturday we're turning on fights and me and my kid are fucking hitting pads and like doing jujitsu in the living room. And I'm like, oh fuck, that's my shit. And she's too young for that. And again, like, I don't talk to my kids about my guns yet. They're too young. There's no rational conversation. There's no processing you're going to have about my guns. So it's like, we don't need to talk about that. You don't need to know about dad's gun ideas or opinions. As a kid, you only need to know if you see a gun, something is terribly fucking wrong. Terribly fucking wrong. And if you see a gun, these should be your immediate acts after that. First and foremost, you don't touch that motherfucker, right? And we don't fucking bring them to school. Of any kind. So then, again, but that's what happens. We put stickers on our cars and we don't think our kids notice, but they're climbing into that car every single day. And we got AR stickers on the back and we're proud Americans all over the fucking house with the flags and the patriotism and we're yelling about the news and different laws that get passed. And we don't really know because, again, that Roe v. Wade thing was 66 fucking pages long, the one I found, which is the official document from, like, the Supreme Court. And I made it about a page and a half, and I go, I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to sit here and comprehend all this because this is going to bore the fuck out of me. And I don't have the intellectual knowledge to be able to comprehend these words in the way that they're worded. I don't have it. So therefore, I can't sit here and then have an opinion to my entire family, who, by the way, are girls. I have 2 daughters. And go, this is a bold stance your dad is going to take on what I believe you should do with your body. Now, I can have a lot of fucking ideas about what you should do with that shit while you're in my house and until you're 18 years old. Right? Feminists, I don't know how the fuck you can come for me for that, but hey, you want to? Go ahead. We do shit how we do shit in our house. You're not going to play games. Why? Dad had a kid at 17. And, again, I know the complexity of situations. I had a woman take money out of my bank account for an abortion that I did not agree with. Then had to be in a hospital room and be with my son while he was delivered stillborn. And then, again, when the relationship went badly, and I guess the attempt to fix it was have a kid, then it was fine to have a kid. We broke up, and I paid child support. So again, let's not act like all this isn't guys walk off scot-free in Roe v. Wade. I just understand the initial reaction is no one gives a fuck about guys' opinion in this one, and we can't have an honest discussion in most situations. Because again, I've had 2 situations in my life where women have either I know for a fact they got an abortion, or the story was for years that they had one, and then they lied about it years later, so they could make a stance on social media. And again, the truth would most likely point to they did go and get it aborted, and that's, your choice to do that. But again, you don't act like men don't carry emotional scars if, again, because I was always raised in a way, I had a kid at 17. My mother, nor my father, was ever like, yo, get rid of that, abort that. Never. I always came up with the idea of, if you have sex, you know what happens or could potentially happen. You understand that. You're not dumb. You might be young and dumb, but you're not that fucking dumb. You know what could happen. And if you have a kid, you are responsible for that. Now, again, I've been pushed out of situations that I had no say in, and I've tried to do the right thing throughout. But the abortion thing is complicated because I've also been with women who were raped prior in their past. I've dated women that have been raped and shit. So it's like I understand the complexity of every situation. It's in the fact that every detail matters drastically. One situation doesn't make another one right or wrong. That's why I don't believe in projecting these bold ideas, beliefs, and opinions as this is the groundwork for how everyone else should operate. Again, if we all came from the same economic class, social classes, and we were guaranteed the same educations and nurturing and also life lessons to guide us perfectly through life, okay, fine. Then you could all be expected. And if everyone was perfectly protected and no one ever made any bad decision ever, okay, in that perfect fucking world, we can all be the Who's in Whoville, and we'll all circle around the one Christmas tree at Town Hall and fucking do-da-day. Go fuck yourself. For the 1,000th time in this episode. I'm tired of all this box creating and going, this is America. This box right here is America. It's fucking sick, man. And like, I used to try to really believe that we as people were not really getting this bad. That it was these fake videos that were being pumped onto social media of, people robbing stores and people being disgusting to each other. But now I'm actually starting to see it in front of me. People that I love so deeply that I would have never thought in a million years would be traumatizing their fucking kids because they can't leave pills and shit alone. And they don't know how to even get to a place where you're going to be able to fix anything. Because everyone is so hurt. Everyone is so angry. No one will talk. And people just want to project. Well, I can tell you, the veil has been lifted. The projection has been seen through. And we all know, honey, this boat is going down. Right? So the best thing we can all do, if we have any hope to fix what's going on in this country and in this world right now, and I don't say this dramatically, I say this very emphatically, we have got to start talking about what the fuck is bothering us, what makes us who we are as individuals, holding people accountable to necessary levels, meaning you can understand, recognize, and attempt to fix traumas without having to hash up old shit with people and, make big dramatic scenes about stuff. You can talk about situations, feel feelings, and, again, I never believe that when someone is trying to express pain, trauma, anything like that, I don't believe they should ever be met with like, hey, you have to get over it. You have to move on. It should always be met with, I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you. And if there's something that you think, especially if this person is in a time of distress, If there's something you think I can genuinely help you with right now, I will do anything for you. I'm always that person. You need me to call somebody? I don't give a fuck if you're not supposed to. But like, if I need to call them and talk to them to settle you the fuck down so I can get you back to a place where you're not, worrying everybody in your goddamn life, okay, fine. We may need to have a conversation with some people. But again, it's always this situation where projections fuck you at every turn, because I can't tell you how many times just in the last week, sitting in fucking hospitals or emergency rooms or whatever, I look at people that are ashamed to be around a mental health facility, or are ashamed to admit that their mental health is struggling right now. So while we are the most accepting of it on social media, and while we have no problem showing everyone our cars, our perfect marriages, our perfect kids, the newest toys that our kids got, our vacations that we go on, the new boat we just bought, whatever, our day at the lake. It sounds like I fucking hate on water. I don't go near them shits. I don't do bodies of water, if you guys can't tell. But again, we're so concerned that our projection may fall apart and that someone may find out that we're struggling. What the fuck? Who cares? Have you ever and this is how I'm going to wrap this episode up. Because again, I've understood I'm all over the place. This is kind of a weird episode. My life has been insanely wild the last couple weeks. I want to wrap it up like this. Consider this one thought. When you're like I was, where I was sitting in my room trying to figure out what shirt should I wear to fit the situation I'm about to go in. And I had to figure out what's the projection I'm going to give off. And for the first time, I was consciously aware of that. So I picked up just an all black shirt that doesn't say anything. It doesn't project anything about me. And almost the next thought was, when bad shit happens or good shit happens in my life, I don't need to make this projection on social media and tell anyone. Why? Because if they're just on my social media feeds, well, they don't know me, and they probably don't know what it's taken for me to appreciate what I'm about to post. If they did, I'd be able to call them and tell them about it. And then they would be happy for me, and I know that because I would have weeded out the people that, get weird and get shady every time good shit happens for me. Or they want to figure out what they can get from it. So you start to learn by speaking your mind and honestly putting all these guards down and not feeling like you need to be this, look at me, look at what my life is, but you're just living your life and enjoying it with the people who are around you. I promise you feel so less of a need to tell people how much you love the Star Wars franchise, or to tell people how much, Jack Skellington in The Nightmare Before Christmas, or Alice in Wonderland, or the Johnny Depp situation, or any of his movies, or, like with me, skateboarding, hip-hop. I don't feel the need. Vinyls. Like, yeah, I share it on my vlogs and stuff, but I'm not anymore every day like, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at what I'm doing. Guess why? People don't care. People don't care. Life is hard for a lot of people. A lot of people are struggling. Everyone is doing what they can do to get by right now in such uncertain times. This is my desperate cry to all of you, though. Before we see more people commit suicide or die by overdose, drinking themselves to death, murders, anything, accidental killings, school shootings, all this shit, we have got to find a way. Whatever is in your heart that is kind, if you connect to someone, if you connect to something, keep it sacred. Don't project it for other people to destroy it and cut it down and give you their 2 cents on it so they can tell you why you're dumb. for doing it or liking it or why they disagree adamantly with it. That's where we've gotten in this country, where every opinion you have would imply 10 other opinions that you are not giving but are assumed because we put them out there for the world to see all the time. And then we constantly go, I don't know why people give a fuck. I don't know why these people keep, if you don't like it, just move on. It's like, hey, you put it out there. If you want to be you, ranting to you, do what I do for a living. Ha, zing. Put everything on fucking private and just, I don't know why you would want to, but maybe you just like having your journal be electronic and on a social media site that'll be there forever. But fine, do that. Do that. And if you want to confuse everyone all the time and put up this veil of what your life looks like, fine. But understand, in 2022, everyone, every single time, looks at it and goes, I wonder what's going on there. And people see right through it. Especially when people are like overly posting about going through hard times. People are like, yo, people don't give a fuck. We get it. Life's hard. And again, you start to get discredited because everything becomes this big dramatic expression, when that should be reserved for few and select times, situations, and again, things that really set your soul on fire. If everything is this big, passionate, fiery whatever, then nothing really is, because your dopamine levels are going to be so fucking shot. You got to sit there and constantly scroll to find the next thing that just zerts you up, that you can, become a part of some new community and get all into anime or whatever the fuck. People drive around, they got their entire cars wrapped up like anime characters. I don't fucking get it at all. Guys, I love you. Be kind to one another. I cannot say that loud or clear enough. Be kind to one another. I love you so much. Please thumbs up the video, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to see everything, and I'll see you later on this week.